It was one of the most anticipated pay-per-views in a very long time, and that's WWE Elimination Chamber 2023. It is now history. What a show. I am emotionally drained. First of all, you need to see this show. If you missed this show, you need to see this freaking show. The story of the show, the story of WWE Elimination Chamber 2023 from Montreal, Quebec, Canada in the Bell Center was the crowd. This was one of the most rabid crowds in ages to see a wrestling show. I mean, this crowd was into so many things. They were chanting, they did not get tired. I mean, this was a solid 3 hours and like 20 minutes show, but they were into everything, especially the main event. The main event felt like something from another era. It really did. It felt like something from yesteryear. People believed. Everybody knows that pro wrestling is predetermined. Everybody knows that it's, not a shoot. But the people believed. And if you can create a story that's captivating enough so that people believe, you're going to earn yourself some money. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I must say, this pay-per-view was great, but it was not perfect. So, first of all, I want to talk about the two chamber matches. The women's chamber match, I liked it. They did some pretty creative stuff. Asuka won, so she's going to be facing Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. That was going to be a good match. That's going to be a great match. There was some pretty cool stuff here, but it also felt a little bit fast-paced. Almost, I don't want to say rushed. That's not the right word, but it did feel like Asuka was near the end. Just they were kind of going through their movements kind of quickly. And I was actually surprised as to how much Carmella improved. Like she made some mistakes, but she was a heck of a lot better than I remembered here. And Asuka, the finishes were coming quickly. You know what I mean? And I thought it was a good opener, but the men's chamber definitely stole the show. There were moves and spots in this chamber that had never been done before, right? In the men's chamber, you had Johnny Gargano versus Montez Ford versus Seth Rollins versus Austin Theory, who was the U.S. champion, versus Bronson Reed versus Punishment Martinez, a.k.a. Damian Priest. And man, did these guys work hard. I mean, like I said, they were doing spots, moves. There's a couple of highlights here for the match. First of all, the exchanges, the reversals, the combo moves were a thing of beauty. This match was done to showcase the young roster of up-and-comers. Guys who are in their 20s and 30s who are going to be around for quite some time. Guys like Gargano, guys like Austin Theory, and like who I think was the MVP of this Elimination Chamber, Mr. Montez Ford. I had heard a long time ago they were going to take Montez Ford and give him a singles push, and it's finally manifested. The stuff he did in this Elimination Chamber was absolutely crazy. Montez Ford is such an athletic human being. The stuff that he does, he's almost like Ricochet. Ricochet might be a little bit more polished, but Montez Ford is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he proved it here. Like, this guy has star written all over him. He's charismatic. He has a great look. He's a big guy. He's super athletic, does things with his body that human beings have to train for years. This dude is the future, man. I'm telling you right now, Montez Ford is the future. And Theory, he's a good heel. He's a good heel. Now, the finish of the match, it was down to Theory and Seth Rollins after they did this segment where there was like a segment of the match where it looked like Montez Ford may have been knocked loopy. And they actually fooled me if this was a work. It looked like Montez was, Seth did the curb stomp on the outside of the chamber. And it looked like he was actually like hurt. Like it looked, like holy shit, like this guy, is he okay? And it was almost like he had a concussion. But when they opened up the cell when the referees opened up the cell to get him out, that's when Logan Paul snuck in, and Seth was gonna hit the curb stomp. Logan Paul comes in with the buckshot lariat, which he does better than Hangman Page. He hits Seth with it, and that leads to Theory hitting his finisher, A-Town Down, and retaining the U.S. title. So this will continue the Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul feud going into WrestleMania this year. I don't know who Theory's going to face off against. The rumor is John Cena for the U.S. title. We'll see. But the thing that was dumb about this, there was something dumb about this, and that is that Seth is in the corner preparing for the stomp, and Logan Paul is literally standing on the ropes on the opposite side. There is no way. There is absolutely no way that Seth did not see Logan Paul there. There's just no way. Like, I'm watching, I'm like, dude, he's right there. And he got hit with the move anyways. That was dumb. I think the issue here was that Logan Paul was probably he was probably like out of position. You know what I mean? That's what I'm guessing happened. So either way, though, the match was almost perfect. Now, let's talk about some other matches. So the second match on the show after the women's chamber that opened, Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar. The match was really awesome until the finish. This match, I loved it. It was two big, athletic, former amateur wrestler monsters going at it, just like their previous match. They were doing spears, they were doing F5s, they were just, throwing each other around like two monsters do. But the finish was a bit weird because I'm not sure what's happening. Because on SmackDown, Bray Wyatt challenged the winner, and Bobby Lashley technically won by disqualification. So because Bobby Lashley won by disqualification, you would think that it would be Lashley against Bray Wyatt, but is that really what they're going to do? Or are they going to figure out a way to do Brock and Lashley at Mania Night 1, the winner faces off with Bray Wyatt, or will it be a triple threat? Bray Wyatt, Lashley, and Brock Lesnar. There's a lot of things they can do, but I didn't like the finish, man. He's got him in the hurt lock, the full Nelson. He's squeezing it tight. Then Lesnar uses his heel of his foot to low blow Lashley. Referee calls for the bell. What I thought was funny is Brock's down and he tells the referee, like, come here, like, with his finger, like, wiggling his finger, like, get closer to me. And he does, and he hits F5'd. Then after the match, he hits the F5 on Lashley through the table. So the fact that Brock lost by DQ but laid out Lashley, to me, that tells me they're going to do a freaking rematch. I mean, this cannot be the end of the feud. But when is that going to be? Mania or what? I'm guessing Mania because I had heard it was going to be at Mania, but that is what it is. So they showed Ariel Helwani and GSP in the crowd, and Michael Cole referred to Helwani as unbiased, which is a shot directly at Tony Khan. That is funny, dude. And if you don't know, last night, Tony Khan called Ariel Helwani biased because he was on SmackDown. Tony Khan's having a meltdown on freaking Twitter over this. But I'll probably talk about that in some other video if I even want to. I am doing a video about AEW this week because I have some things I want to discuss about AEW's current direction, and it needs to be discussed. But I'll talk about that later this week. So back to the chamber. Yeah, the Brock Lashley match was good till the finish, but I'm not going to completely shit on it because we'll see where it goes. I think it could have been done a bit more creative, but I didn't like the finish. But the match was good. The work was good. Then we have Edge and Beth Phoenix against Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley in a mixed tag, I guess it was a mixed tag. I really liked this match. Edge was cheered because he's Canadian. Beth was cheered. They did some really cool stuff. There was a spot where like the women powerbombed the men. There was a spot where Beth and I love this, by the way. Beth and Rhea Ripley were doing Japanese clotheslines on each other. Like it was like boom, boom, boom. Really good stuff here. This is one of my favorite mixed tag matches of all time. Back in the day, mixed tag matches, usually the women were like weaker than the men when it came to like the in-ring work. But because nowadays we have really, really good women wrestlers like Beth Phoenix and Rhea Ripley, you're going to have women that are just as good as the men when it comes to, like, there's not many, but they're there. WWE has a lot of good women. So obviously there's more good male wrestlers because wrestling's been around longer with men in it. But the women here did not just like sit on the apron and do nothing. They actually worked. There was a spot where Dominic gave Rhea Ripley brass knuckles and she hit Edge, and I thought that was the finish, but it wasn't. The finish was, and I was kind of surprised about this. Edge hit Finn Balor with a spear, and then they hit the Shatter Machine. That's right, FTR's finisher. Remember, guys, FTR's contract is up next month. Is FTR coming back to WWE? Whoa, what about that? What about that, yo? So I hope so, because the FTR versus the Usos, oh, that's good shit. That's good shit. Main event. Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, they took forever to lock up. This was some of the most incredible, like, the atmosphere for this was second to none. I don't know if WrestleMania will be like this. I don't know what show this year will be like this, but this story with the bloodline is over. It's drawing money, it's drawing eyeballs, it's drawing ratings, and most importantly, above all else, people are captivated by this because the story's not over tonight and it won't be over for a while. Roman Reigns, perfect heel, played his part perfectly. Sami Zayn, babyface, beloved by the crowd, hometown advantage. His wife was in the front row. The atmosphere was phenomenal. They took a wild lockup. There was energy. They started off slowly, but they told an incredible story. The story of the match was that Sami Zayn was a bit more prepared than Roman thought. Even though Roman had the size advantage and Sami had the speed advantage, while Roman was beating him up, Sami was able to reverse a lot of his moves. Like, for example, Roman went to spear Sami on the outside and Sami moved out of the way. And that was phenomenal. That was phenomenal because usually they do that spot where he spears the guy through the barricade, but Sami moved out of the way. Like, that was good. We saw Sami doing like a Liger bomb from the top. We saw him do the Blue Thunder bomb, the Haluva kick. The story, the finish was exactly what I thought they were going to do. Exactly what I thought. One of the smartest things they did here with this post-match and the finish and all that was they didn't completely have Jey Uso pick a side. Jimmy went in to attack Sami. Sami was able to survive. First of all, they did exactly what they should have done. He kicked out of the spear. I told everyone, if you're in my Discord server, you know about this. I was saying the way they're going to protect Sami is having him kick out of the spear. I literally said that in my Discord server. And that's exactly what they did. Because that's a big deal. Sami doesn't have to win, but just him doing that, I think, puts him at a new level. Roman elevated Sami Zayn tonight to main event status, unquestionably. And I think later on this summer, they will probably have a rematch. And maybe Sami will win that one. But it wasn't his night tonight. Granted, a lot of folks wanted him to win in his hometown. I get it. It's not going to be the case. It's not his time because it's Cody's time. So, but still, there's a story to be told. So then Jey Uso comes out and they do the thing where Roman gives Jey the chair. He's not sure if he wants to do it. And then Roman kind of pie faces Jey, and then Sami goes to hit Roman, but he accidentally hits Jey, and then Roman hits him with the spear, and Roman wins. So just phenomenal. After the match, they start beating down on Sami, and then Kevin Owens, as expected, made his big return and stunned everybody, including Paul Heyman, who tried to attack him. That got a big pop. And phenomenal, just perfect. This execution of this finish and this post-match was perfect. The stage is set now. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania for the WWE Universal Championship, the Undisputed Universal title, and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens against the Usos for the tag team titles. It's going to be a hell of a freaking WrestleMania this year, and that moment when Cody beats Roman Reigns is going to be a thing of beauty. I cannot wait till Monday Night's Raw. Tremendous storytelling. This show, you need to see this show. It was damn near perfection. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just, there were some issues I mentioned, but great stuff. The Montez Ford coming out party was phenomenal. People actually got over. Like, Montez Ford is now a player, and Sami Zayn's a main eventer officially. And that's beautiful. And yeah, you could say maybe he was during War Games, but now he really is. I love wrestling when done right. Thumbs up. I'll talk to you all later this week. Take care.